So the book that I'm talking about here is the Lost Bantu book of the Black Jews of Africa, but I really actually just prefer to call it the Bantu book. And I actually made it with this software called Twine. It's pretty cool. And then this website is actually called Itch, and this one is the one hosting it. So it's pretty awesome if you can actually, if you have a passion for writing, you can also try to do that. And I really like the way that it's interactive, because with the way that it makes it, it's like I'm exploring certain questions that I have, and that's each interaction. So it makes it really interesting for me, or engaging, because I'll be exploring everything that I'll be thinking, like, what about this, what about that, and so on. So when you run the book, it opens up and then you start. So let us begin the Lost Bantu book of the Black Jews of Africa. The ox knows the owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel does not know, my people do not consider. The question that I've asked and the question that I try to answer is, who is God's people? What does that mean? And this has been the question that has led me to even researching and writing this book. Israel refers to a person and a place, and Israel is actually the name of the person whose name was changed from Jacob. So to understand Israel is also a mystery that we need to unravel. And I'd like to appreciate everybody who's tuned in, and I'd like to encourage you to leave a tip so that I can also give something else that is even better than this. I've been actually working on this particular book for a few years, so here I'm just actually editing it so that when I remake it, it will be even better, so you can actually contribute to the growth of this information. And especially if you like it, you can also just spread the information. That's also helpful. So the Black Jews of Africa have been a secret shrouded in mystery. This is an attempt to bring the truth to the light. Religion is a tender topic because it was weaponized against Africa during slavery and colonization. And, well, yeah, because I know that our religion, in terms of the Bible for today and everything, we actually learned it in a very coercive environment at the time. But there is truth in the Bible, so it's made a lot of people really kind of doubt it. Like, is it something that is just used to control people? So this is why this, for me, it's so important, or it's so precious, because I get to talk about Africa and the Bible at the same time, because this is what we need more, because my people perish from a lack of knowledge. So we need knowledge, and this is the attempt. So the truth is stranger than fiction, because authors of the religion have become victims of their loving God. And then I also put Shona words. I was just really interested in just also making it as African as possible. So Majiro Kwazo is just like, yeah, very, very much so. Yeah, the truth shall set us free, very much so. Majiro Kwazo, yeah, that's what it is. It's time for the children of Shem and Ham, the true Jews, to realize they are the light. Arise and shine. Okay. Africa was known as the land of Ham. Ham is the father of the ether and the earth. The EA. Ham humble ruled in Africa as a great grandfather. His children populated the continent. So Ham, Shem, and Japheth went in different paths, and in the end, the children of Ham were in Africa. So there's Mama Africa, Father Ham, Bantu children. Which option to choose? Right now, I think I want to talk about Ham some more. Ham was the first man to make a hamlet. Okay, he invented homes and letters. So the actual villages were actually in Africa. But when you actually read the story in Babylon, they were talking of how the children of Ham, which is Nimrod, those were the first children to actually start creating cities and such. So he invented homes and letters. And in Babylon, they were also creating the letters. They created the Hammurabi tab and all of those things. So they were actually and then they had all of the things like with written stuff, and it comes from the children of Ham, which is Nimrod in Genesis 10, right? So he thought outside the box and he got into trouble. Once Ham is fire and light, fire of ether, and the choice of either. A or E dissect sides. Ham is Adam and Eve who were deceived to decide dissect sides. Happy home. Okay. So here I'm talking about how Ham is as Adam, because Adam has a child called Cain, and Ham has a child called Canaan. And Cain was the one who actually felt that pain of the fall by what he did to his brother. And then Canaan is the one who actually felt the curse from Ham for what Ham had did to Noah. Happy home. In the Bible, we learn the father of all Africans is Ham. After the flood of Noah, Ham's children replenished the earth and repopulated Africa. They married the wives of Shem, and Shem the wives of Ham, and Shem and Ham were hemmed. Let there be clarity. Charity is clarity. And I like that because the charity of love gives clarity, because one day you will see face to face. And this is what I'm saying is in the other book. And then that talks more about the ether, the ethereal. So the Bantu people are God's chosen people from the Bible. They all trace their heritage from ancient Sumeria, where they built the first kingdoms on earth. And Sumeria was taken over and became Mesopotamia, at which time Abraham was told to leave Mesopotamia, Masokotama. This actually in Shona means the words to move. Mesopotamia. There's this blog I read. It was talking about the Shona translation of that word of Mesopotamia to Mashokotama. So the word told Abraham to leave his family in Mesopotamia and go to a country he's never heard or known. These were the first steps my ancestors took until they made it to Zimbabwe. Yeah, Ham is Hama. So this is why I'm talking about Zimbabwe, because I'm sure in different Bantu languages there are very similar words. And also in different languages, not just Bantu, like you could just say the languages in Europe, they also have just similar words. Hama and Abrahama. Let's go Abrahama. Abra is Afra, which became Africa. Yeah, the word of Africa. I like etymology. Etymology is the study of the root meanings of the words. And etymology has actually been very amazing in how I have been trying to interpret the books of the genealogies in the Bible through knowing the root words. They're all prophetic. So Abraham and his name has so many meanings, but Africa at the same time, because of its significance, it's mentioned a lot in the Bible. As I said, it's like, hold on, I'm going to show you something that is going to be linked to the Bantu book and everything. And I also I would also want to invite you to just get the book. You can also just look through it. This is just a little snippet. And also, you can also simply give a tip so that this book will be improved and all of the other things will be improved as well. So this was just something that I created for you so that I can just develop this way of spreading the information. So here's something else that is interesting about etymology. So Ham represents Africa. He has 4 children, and his 4 children are in the 4 parts of Africa. As we've discovered, there are a lot of mysteries surrounding the father figure Ham. We don't even know if he actually avoided the curse, and we don't even know the actual meaning of his name. So digging deeper into that. As we see here in the map, that we see that there are different places that they actually had different colors for the 3 different children. and they divided the whole world among themselves. So here we actually see in blue is the place where Ham was primarily, and then in green we see the place where Shem was. So here we have Canaan, and Canaan is right in the middle there. That name that we also need is going to be Ham. It's part of the genealogy. So it is the glory of God to hide things. It is the honor of kings to search out a matter. Besides Canaan's curse and the hidden name, there are other mysteries surrounding Ham, such as the sin. What was his actual sin? What did he actually do? And the other mystery that is surrounding Ham is the fact or the question of whether or not he is a Jew. Because we've seen that from Japheth, that's where all of the isles of the Gentiles were. But for Ham, we see that that question is not, or that clause is not put. So they're literally saying that these are the Jews. So the Ham and the Shem are the Jews, and the Gentiles is from Japheth. Let's look at Ham. Ham fathered Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. So when it comes to the land of Ham, since we're talking about Ham again, there's another mystery. The other mystery is that Put was put in the North Africa. So the mystery or the question becomes, so what happened to the rest of Africa, the center and the bottom of it? What happened to it? And the other mystery that I will just unravel here is the fact that Canaan was supposed to dwell in the tents of Shem. So where was his land? Canaan was the only one who was not given land. And this got him very upset because he didn't do anything. It was his father. But it was because of that attitude that he had to be in servitude, in service, to be humble in the tents of Shem, to learn the ways of God. But he was not able to do that. And Canaan ends up being Palestine. So he is, as you will see in the Bible, they will always refer to the children of Abraham as 3 instead of 4, because Canaan is not in the land of Ham. But in the land of Ham, this is the whole of Africa. So the question or the mysteries are there before us. It is the glory of God to hide things. This is a prophecy encoded in the Hebrew, hard-coded in the Hebrew version of the Bible, for the whole of Africa that I'm going to be reading. This is based on the etymology, the names. The name of Ham, as we've discovered, means hot, burnt, or dark. The name of Cush, his first son, is black or dark. Mizraim, the second one mentioned, means double distress or fortress. And Put means bow, or maybe it's even bow, or affliction. And then Canaan means lowland or submit. The prophetic explanation of the names of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan is burning leads to darkness, double distress, affliction, and submission. So this dismal prophecy doesn't end here. There's much, much more to it. So just stay tuned, and this is going to be unraveled as we go through the last Bantu book. It tells this whole story. But for us to get to that, we have to know this dire warning. And this is what happened to the Jews. Remember, they were taken into captivity, as the Bible says. This is what happened to the Jews. This is the prophecy. But through the prophecy of Shem, we see God's plan for salvation for the Jews, which is why the Jews went through this darkness, this burning, and burning is the purification. So, yes, this is a very serious prophecy, but we're going to see exactly what it means in the future videos.